Hi, everyone. This is Megan.
And this is Steven.
And this is the Synchrony Podcast, where we talk about transforming apostolic dating culture and ending loneliness in the church. And we are kicking off this podcast at 12:23 a.m. That's a.m.
AM.
It's the middle of the night.
Coffee.
The coffee might save this podcast. That might be what drives this episode. For real.
And my sheer frustration with technology.
I almost saw you lose your Holy Ghost a second ago around.
I maintained it, but it was close.
It was close. The devil was coming for you through the
devil
mechanism.
thought he had me.
The devil thought he had me through the mechanism of our cameras interfacing with all the stuff you have over there.
It all boiled down to, which is really frustrating, the software needed an update, but didn't tell me it needed an update. So nothing was communicating.
Poor communication is the root of most of our problems.
Yes.
It's been a busy week. We got back from vacation, me and the kids, last week, and then went straight into the week of Vacation Bible School, which you've been heavily involved in.
Yep.
I have been not very involved in. Thank you to our Sunday school teachers and VBS coordinators and everyone who has chased my children around for the last few days. But it has just sent the schedule haywire.
Yeah, well, you were gone for a week, so your synchrony calls kind of all compiled into the week that followed was VBS. So it wasn't like something that you just had the freedom to just go to VBS this week.
Yeah, so we're getting through it. But we procrastinated on everything, including this podcast. So this is going to be a lightweight, kind of fun podcast.
Here's to hoping.
Babe, I want to talk to you about sports.
Oh boy, this is not where I thought we were going.
Yeah. Not just sports, but sports. I've been thinking a lot about sports lately. So we have said many times that there isn't really a good place for singles to date right now. Like apostolic singles don't have many places to go to meet people. We've talked about why singles conferences are not good for dating. They are amazing events that everyone should try to attend. They will bless you tremendously.
Yep.
They are not great dating spaces. Conferences in general, not great dating spaces. We've touched on the pros and cons of the online dating spaces as well. And I think there are a few pros and many, 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 many cons.
Yeah.
Right. Even matchmaking, like it is my favorite way to connect people right now, but it's not for everyone and it's not foolproof and it's not going to work for every scenario.
Sure.
Right. So I want to talk about some places where people could be meeting people. And some of these, I think, are things that they might be able to do within their churches or within their districts. Some of these are things that don't exist that I wish existed. Some of these are things that like I'm hopeful can exist by the time our kids are dating because I want them to have options.
Yep.
But that's what I want to talk about.
We need apostolic pool halls.
Yeah. So this cannot be.
I just want ping pong tables, so just give me those.
Ping pong is probably safer. We need apostolic pickleball courts for sure.
Sure.
Because pickleball is taking over the apostolic church. Like
that's right.
We're going to be doing pickleball focused outreach soon. I'm pretty sure.
It's probably already happened. Max and Rhea are on it.
Max and Rhea are pickleball evangelists.
That's right.
Yeah, like you got to have it. So one of those things, honestly, is sports. Like I remember my parents saying at some point, I'd have to ask them the details about this. I'm pretty sure that when they were like teenagers or young adults, there was like an congregational softball league that different apostolic churches in Florida were a part of. And the churches
need that again.
Right. And the churches in the area would meet up and they'd play against each other and they'd fellowship and see each other, right? People would drive up and bring food, people would hang out. You know, like it was an opportunity to basically like just scrimmage with a bunch of different churches.
Yeah.
I can imagine as a teenager, that would have been an amazing place to go hang out for a day just to connect with people.
100%. Because right now, the only way you go and meet people across the state are church camp, district conferences.
Yeah.
And Bible quizzing. If you're involved in Bible quizzing, like helping, like especially for like the older adults. So like that's the only way you really see people that you grew up with.
Well, and that's the thing too. So like I put up a reel earlier this week about like how to meet your spouse at camp. And I want to caveat that like I don't think that church camp is about dating. And I think that our kids need to be able to go to church camp and just receive an amazing blessing from the Lord. Right?
I think it is a good way for people who are working camp
Yes.
to see who is a willing servant.
Yes, I agree. It camp.
Not that it should be about dating, but it also is a good area for you to like, hey, let's see who else is all in the same phase of
Right.
life.
Camp is not about dating. It is one of the only places where we concentrate tons of young people of the same age from across the state in a sanctioned space that
Yeah.
leaders and pastors are all generally on board with them attending, where they have access to each other for more than a couple of hours.
Yep.
So a camp, like we can tease people all we want about their camp relationships and camp crushes, but we're not offering them any better options, really.
No, for sure.
So sending your kids to youth camp and giving them, and when I say kids, like, again, I don't think you should be really seriously dating anyone if you're 14, 15. You're not going to be launching yourself into a marriage anytime soon.
No.
Not in this economy. But
and for all 3 of our listeners that are under the age of 17, I am sorry.
No, there are a lot of people that listen to us that are under the age of 17, and you guys are doing great. And just, yeah, it's coming one day, but you don't have to worry about it right now.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, like, I think like for older youth, or for people in like the college camps, or for workers, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
But camp is not an ideal place because, again, the focus is not on dating. And I think we need spaces where it is purely social. So we talked about sports tournaments and stuff like that. Pickleball, softball, volleyball, right?
Yep.
We live in Florida, but if you live in places where you could play hockey or something, like, do that.
Excuse me. There are hockey leagues in Florida.
Yeah, but like you're not going to go play a pickup game of hockey as a Floridian, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, raise your hand if you know someone personally who plays ice hockey. Who do you know who plays ice hockey?
Theo.
Do you know any others besides Theo?
Devin.
Devin's Canadian.
He's in Florida. He lives in the land of Slocala.
Devin doesn't count because he grew up in the land of ice and snow. So anyway, whatever like sport or is big in your area, right? I feel like our churches.
There's also roller hockey, by the way.
Okay, so roller things. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
So when my parents were teenagers, they talked about how the skate rinks over here used to do Christian music nights.
Yeah. The last time we went, it was very much not Christian music night.
Yeah.
It was like a bunch of 10-year-olds and it was playing some very raunchy songs.
Oh my goodness.
Don't get me wrong. It reminded me of the middle school bus, but like.
So that was the crazy part. We went to a skate station, which is the local roller rink, with our kids because they'd gotten rollerblades for Christmas. And they were having like a free like midweek holiday skate or something on like Labor Day or more. I don't remember which holiday. And so we went there and it was like a bunch of kids and like homeschoolers and like young kids. And they were playing like Apple Bottom Jeans.
No, they were not just playing Apple Bottom Jeans.
I was trying to sanitize it for people, but like that flavor of early 2000s R&B was like very prevalent.
I'm just going to say one phrase, and if you know, you know. From the window.
Yeah.
That's all I need to say.
That's all.
And
now everyone
don't get me wrong.
Repent.
There were the parents there that were bobbing their heads and like dancing.
Uh-huh.
But the kids should not have been listening to these songs.
Right. Anyway, so the point is Christian roller rink nights. They still had that when I was a kid because I remember my dad used to take me like Tuesday nights and it would be like me and like one other homeschool family like that would go.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm sure that they're not as popular as they used to be, but I'm pretty sure if like a bunch of churches got together and were like, hey, one Tuesday a month, we'll buy out your roller rink and do, whatever. Like we could figure out a way to do it. And the thing about skating that's fun is like if you're bad at it, you can hold on to somebody.
Oh, sure.
This is how a bunch of people we used to hang out at after rock when you guys did skating.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Because there was an ice skating rink in West Palm of all places.
Yeah.
Random. And that's
where a bunch of people played ice hockey.
Sure. And it worked
in South Florida.
It worked to your credit that you were a really good skater, I feel.
Yes, when you're related to a dually, you don't have any choice but to strive in things that require physical coordination.
The dualies, if you're not from Florida, are Steven's very wonderful, lovely, attractive, and incredibly athletic cousins. You have a whole collection of them.
Yes.
You have four?
There's five, but the four boys.
4 male cousins.
Yeah.
all in the same family, and
And
you're
they're
like,
all like Tarzans of their own flavor.
yeah, they're all like good at everything that's ever involved a sport, and it's like it's kind of obnoxious, but they're also really nice guys, so
Yeah.
you can't hate them for it. But then you're like the bottom of the stair steps of
Oh
the,
yeah,
you know,
it was like 6 years older than me, 4 years older than me, 2 years older than me, and
Yeah.
then the Jeremy was way older.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was the patriarch of the group, like shoving lobsters in his pocket and coming up with like 12 lobsters in his hand and one in his teeth. And like I'm like, who is this Crocodile Dundee guy?
we switched sports. They're not talking about lobstering,
Yes.
not ice skating, just to
Sorry.
clarify. This is going to be happening a lot tonight because we
It is past midnight.
Yeah. So yeah, like, and here's the thing, like, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, like my pastor or my church would never get on board with it because people would be like holding hands. Yeah, I know that's the point. Like, it is a safe, open, generally well lit public space for people.
Generally well lit with the moldy carpet.
Until they go into black light mode and then just don't look at anything.
Yeah.
It's a space where you can flirt, you can talk, you can engage in
the social skills.
Yeah. And engage in socially accepted light and clean physical contact. And I mean that, like, I don't like holding on to someone's elbow so you don't fall down like while you're skating around. I don't see anything particularly sinful about that.
No.
But it is a way to connect with people. Like, so yeah, that, like roller rink, like things that are purely social and not associated with a conference.
Yeah.
Because it can't all be, it's got to be something more consistent. You have to have a place for people, like once a year at Rock. I was not enough. Like if people were, you know, if you had people from way up north coming down to Rock and people from way south coming up to Rock, and they saw each other once a year at that conference and once a year at camp.
Yep.
That's not enough to build a consistent connection with someone.
Yeah.
You need something that occurs on a relatively frequent basis.
Yeah.
What else?
I'm definitely down for like renting out a whole bowling alley, just saying. And then having a way for people to like, there's going to be the people who don't actually bowl, who are just coming to socialize, who are going to like hop lanes and talk to people.
Yeah.
And I would love for there to be a way to like, because obviously like with bowling, it's not very conducive for like socializing because you're stuck to your lane for the whole game. And if someone's off talking, you can't bowl. But I'd love for there to be a way for there to be somehow. Ooh, sorry, I could totally. So I don't know if this would work, but they have a way. No, never mind. I'm going down my. They have a way for every time you bowl, every time your whole team bowls down all your lane, it switches sides.
Yeah.
And so you're forced to switch sides and bowl down the other lane. I would love if you were forced to switch
lanes all the time.
Well, like every like 4 or 5 or 6 like frames.
Yeah.
Then it would be fun for like people to kind of get to talk to their neighbors.
Even if you just
stuff,
had to mix up the teams after the end of each game
or something.
Like,
yeah,
okay,
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so like sports and like physical activities that you can do as a group.
AC sports.
Yeah. AC sports.
In Florida specifically.
Sure. Just things that have a low barrier of entry, right? It doesn't have to be that you have to be a professional volleyball player.
No.
To go hang out and do stuff. Or like you want it to be something where people can hop in and kind of experiment with it, where people can spectate and that's comfortable and not a big deal.
Where there's food, where there's chairs for people to sit around and talk.
Yeah, just spaces to hang out for a few hours on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm. The thing is like, I think what's hard is there's not a lot of public places without it being a one-on-one date for you to just get to know someone after you're like out of camp age.
Right.
And so what ends up happening is you're either secluded with a weirdo that you don't want to you want to get to know, but don't know well enough. Right. And like, I was that weirdo. So
I was going to say.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is like, it's a high risk for low reward for some people.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in these big social environments, sure, don't get me wrong, there's going to be people with social anxiety. I understand that. But like, and this is going to meet certain types of personality types. I get that. But what's going to happen is it's going to give people a low risk with a higher reward for people to be able to just connect and meet with people. And even if you just have friends that say, hey, this is my friend so-and-so, I grew up with this person and they also like pickleball. Let's talk about pickleball. You know, like just ways for people to just connect.
I honestly thought it would be really cool. So like I think part of the problem with this is like the coordination of it, right?
Yeah.
Like as churches get bigger, as hyphen groups get bigger, as young adult groups, as singles groups get bigger, it's difficult for you to find things that kind of cross all levels of that. I thought it would be so cool if like we have these singles Facebook pages, but I want, and that maybe this exists. If this exists, let me know in the comments. I want a district specific, but not organization specific
Mm-hmm.
Facebook page that's like Florida Apostolics doing the stuff,
Yeah.
right? Arkansas Apostolics doing stuff, whatever. Like insert state or region.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a place, maybe you have some admins, but it's a place where people go and post, hey, some of us are going to Disney World on this date. Like, you're welcome to come. Let us know
Yeah.
if you want to come with, right? Hey, we're all going to go to the springs on this date. Hey, we're going to go on a canoeing trip. Hey, we're thinking about doing a deep sea fishing trip. Hey, we're going to do a bowling tournament in this part of the state, right?
Yeah.
Like, have a process where people can specify the date that they're doing it, set up an event for people to respond to and go. And like, that's in a perfect world where, you know, people are organized enough to put that stuff out ahead of time.
Yeah, like enough time for people to call off work
Right.
or plan or whatever. Because I know it's expensive, and I understand that.
Yeah.
Especially like in Florida, if like you were in Gainesville
Mhm.
and I was in West Palm, I wouldn't be driving to Gainesville to go to a bowling tournament. Like, so it's like I understand for non-Floridians, that's about a 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
So like,
I don't know. There was a time in your life before you had kids where you probably would have driven 4 hours for a bowling tournament if you knew some really good people were going to be there and you were going to have a really good time.
Possibly. I was also cheap and
Yeah.
broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I had my my Toyota Echo, that thing got incredible gas mileage. I would have probably considered it. But so I understand logistically that this sounds like we're looking at this with rose-colored glasses, like, oh, this is so simple, and I understand it's not that simple.
Right.
But the point is like Facebook groups are a good way for people to touch base about things that are going on, but not a great way for people to maintain contact.
No, and I really think like if you're trying to meet people on Facebook, I think the goal is to eventually leverage that into an in-person interaction of some kind.
Yeah.
And making it regional would help, right? It's also a thing where like I know that like one of the big challenges of hyphen and I'm saying hyphen because if I want people to be thinking about this as a way, as things we can implement now that will affect future generations. Because I know some of this is going to take years to feel normal to us, right? Like if we're not used to having these cultural things in place, it'll be weird and awkward for a little while. And we need a generation of people to power through that awkward and just make it normal. But I'm thinking about this for upcoming generations too. I'm really thinking about this for the kids.
Yeah.
Like how will our kids find people? How will they have options? And right now we're blessed to go to a church with a really big youth group and a really big Sunday school group and a lot of kids their age. But people move. Our lives might change. Someone might get called to home missions work. Someone might get called to do something else. We might end up in a different scenario. And I want options for the kids.
Yeah.
But so like, I think that any of this stuff is going to be challenging to get started, but once it becomes normal, could be really powerful.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm just going to put this out there.
And keep the bowling alleys and skating rinks alive.
Right? Here's the thing, like, and I'm also putting this out there because I know for a fact that you and I are not the people to do this.
No.
Because one, we don't know what singles want to do. We're not going to pretend to be in everyone's heads and be able to prescribe the activities. Also, we are the worst when it comes to planning events and like executive function.
I don't think we're the worst when it comes to planning events. I think if we were to sit down and like plan one out, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Planning a date, that's a different story. We're terrible at that.
For ourselves.
For ourselves, yeah.
And lots of dates for other people.
Yeah. I think what it comes down to though is this is going to have to be like, this isn't something that we can orchestrate because at the end of the day, this is too big of a project. It would have to be someone taking the charge and going, hey, let's form a group of people that can come together, brainstorm, and then them figure out something for their regions and them put that together. And working together with the bigger Facebook groups or wherever other people maintain contact and saying, hey, how can we do this in a safe way?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, some people probably don't want to share, hey, I live in this city, in this state, in this zip code,
Right.
and I'll be at this place at this time. Come visit me. like,
I mean,
like,
yeah.
like,
I think there are ways to get around that kind of like mechanical awkwardness. But like my point is like I know that this is not something like starting these initiatives that we're describing here isn't something you or I are going to have bandwidth for
sure.
in the near future.
No.
But I'm hoping there's someone out there listening who is like social and kind of event minded and has that gift of coordination
Yeah.
and galvanizing and the ability to kind of get people excited about stuff, and this sparks some inspiration for you.
Yeah.
Married or single.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Okay, so we've talked about like sporting events, like sort of physical activities. Here's another flavor of things. I posted a story about this kind of question, and I had some people comment interesting things that like they remember happening before that they saw happening in their districts. How do you feel about formal events, like things like having a you know youth or like young adult like formal in one part of the district, like it's an excuse for everyone to get dressed up to the nines and go on a dinner cruise, or go like they all meet up and rent a space and they do like a formal event of some kind.
I mean, I think it's a great idea. And again, I want people that are listening to understand that we understand that this is going to cater to certain personality types sometimes.
Yeah, well, because like,
Like-
I'm not a sporty person,
No.
and if there was like an interchurch softball league, right? As much as I love,
You would go to get hit by the softball on the side of the.
every time I have a curse, I swear they just find me. It's like a homing beacon.
For all those don't know, I used to play softball with our church league, and every time Megan was standing either by the bleachers or off the side on the other side of the fence on the back side of like first or third, and somehow from another field someone would overthrow a ball or someone would hit a pop fly, and Megan got hit by so many softballs. It was so funny.
It was like I had a
It wasn't funny in the
legitimate-
moment, but it was hindsight. It's a crazy odds.
I had one hit me in the thigh once, and I had a bruise that covered the entire side of my thigh for like a month and a half. It was crazy. I'm like, I can't go to the doctor. People are going to think you beat me. Like,
Yeah,
it was horrible. Yeah, like as a young person, I would not have been volunteering to go sit on some bleachers in the heat for hours. I would go to a formal, like, or to a concert.
I don't know.
Yes,
If
I would
you
have.
were single and you knew there was going to be a bunch of guys,
You know who would have been going with me to? You know who would have been telling me to go to those events?
your mom.
Yes, my mother. My mother would have been like, "Get out there and find someone wearing baseball pants." Like, she would have been
Go
like,
and kiss one of them.
Okay, true story. I've been thinking. I'm just gonna put this out there. We can take this out later if we want to. I've been thinking.
Sorry, Mom.
I've been thinking about asking my mom and Nana to come on the podcast for an episode
Oh, 100%.
and
It
talk.
has to happen.
Oh yeah, and talk about. I want Nana to talk about dating in the '60s, and because they were both raised in church. I want to hear.
They both went to the same church camps at very different phases of the church camp's history.
and yet had very similar behaviors. So I want.
Hey, so did you.
So I want Nana to talk about, not at church camp. I was such a nerd at church camp. Ugh, terrible. Anyway, I want Nana to talk about what it was like dating in the 60s. I want Mom to talk about what it was like dating in the 80s. Right. And then I can talk about what it was like dating in like the early 2000s or whatever. And it would just be really funny to just hear like how attitudes about certain behaviors have changed.
Oh, sure.
Also, I think Nana and Mom would be hilarious.
Oh, it would be one, amazing recording footage, but two, also like just a blast.
We would have to edit out so much stuff because Nana, like, her filter is just gone.
Or just leave it all in there.
There's a mosquito over there somewhere. Keep saying it buzzing around your knees. There you go. Did you get him?
I think so. Yeah, I did.
Okay, nice.
No, we would 100% leave it all in there.
Okay, well, maybe we'll look forward to that. But so I like the idea of a formal event because I feel like there are very few, like, obviously we get dressed up for church, but there's very few times where we give ourselves permission to dress up specifically just so we can look good.
So how would this formal event go, though?
Mhm.
Would it be gender gated?
No, it would not necessarily.
Because what's stopping it to just be
Girls.
150 women and 10 guys?
There's nothing stopping that, but I will say if you are a single man,
If you're one of those 10 guys.
if you're a single man and you know that like 200 apostolic women of a certain age dolled up to the nines are going to descend upon one specific location, it would behoove you to put on a suit and show up to that location. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like,
but again, I think some guys, I think it'd be amazing. Like, I
Yeah,
don't want to. I'm a hole poker. I like to poke holes
that's
and
fine.
and
That's
things.
fine.
So it's like I can also see some guys like that go to hyphen events, for instance,
Hmm.
or like singles events.
Right.
It's very similar, right? You have 100 women show up to an event, and you have the 5 guys that show up that stand on the outside edges of every service.
Yeah, and I hear that. And again, like I think the thing about this is like creating spaces where dating and making dating connections is both socially acceptable and expected. Like the thing about conferences is that the purpose is murky. Like they're not supposed to be about dating, and really like dating, I think we've internalized that it's kind of discouraged to be thinking about dating in a space that's focused on spirituality.
Sure.
Um, so I think that giving people permission to be in a place where dating is the point would help with some of that.
Yeah.
But anything that we're describing here, the first few rounds of it would be awkward as all get out.
Sure.
Like we just have to own the fact that like starting up any of this and making it
I mean,
normal.
starting up synchrony was awkward.
Yeah, it's still awkward for a lot of people. Like anything is going to be awkward at the beginning, right? So I think that this would be super awkward, but I think if this were like, I don't know how your church was. My church, we didn't go to prom. Like our young people didn't do prom really.
Well, half my youth group was in a Christian school, and their prom was very sanitized.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't go because I didn't have a lot of connections with my friends at school.
Yeah. So like
I didn't have a lot of like investment.
in our church, it was we encouraged our kids not to go to prom, and if they chose not to go to prom, then for most years, except for mine, not bitter, a little bit bitter. Instead of prom, they would take you out on a formal dinner cruise. So all
Who's
the
they?
seniors, the youth leaders,
Oh, okay.
would take the seniors out, and the church would pay for it, and they would go out on a dinner cruise and be able to dress up,
Oh, that's nice.
and it was really pretty. Yeah,
That would have been nice.
that would have been nice.
You need to pray for your unforgiveness.
Yeah, I'm a little bit bitter about that. I think it happened because like we were right in the middle of a transition between youth leadership, and it was just like too much to try to coordinate like all of a sudden, and so it just fell through the cracks, and it was really depressing because I purposefully didn't go to prom. I stayed home from prom and made money by doing people's hair for prom.
That's right.
Apostolic perks. But then I was like, great, I will save this to buy myself a beautiful dress to go on the dinner cruise. The dinner cruise never happened.
Yep.
Anyway, but stuff like that I think is nice, and I think it could be like a rite of passage. Like maybe it is just for graduating seniors from all around the district, right? Or maybe it is just like it's something that you look forward to as like, hey, once you're 16, you're eligible to go to this, or you're eligible to do this, and it represents like something meaningful, right? To hey, this is something that you get to experience with this group of people. It's just social, it's just for dating, right? Like. Or it doesn't even have to be just for dating. It can be like, let's go hang out and all be together and celebrate whatever thing we're celebrating. But it's not intended to be a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I like the idea of it. I can see the world in which there would be some pastors that would be hesitant to like endorse it, just because one, it's not going to be under any like affiliation of any sort, and two, like the thing is like you would have to just emphasize that people need to be mature adults, right? And I'm saying like the big thing that like why did they get rid of the formal at church camp, our church camp? Like
the banquet?
Yeah, the banquet thing that
they
we
used
did.
to have during like the teen and senior camps. I don't remember what age group it started.
I think it started at like the 13, 14, I think is when they started, because I remember we were the last year that they had it.
Yeah. Like I think the like I think the idea of it was
14,
like
15 or
we spent a whole week telling the kids like not to focus on relationships, and now at the end we're like, but you also need to take a date to the banquet.
Yeah.
Right. But it did give people an opportunity to like have like a thing to look forward to, like, and asking someone to the banquet was an expression of intention.
Yeah, it was good. It was good skill building.
Yeah. I see why they did away with it.
I see why they did away with it, but at the same time, it also like unintentionally, this wasn't the purpose, like help hinder people's ability to practice
Right.
taking a step to try to not get someone's attention of someone you're interested in, but like not in like a juggling kind of way, but more of like actually being able to take a step out and say, hey, I like you. Would you
Right.
be willing to do something?
Yeah. And
And so,
having an occasion to go to where, like, hey, everyone's expected to go, but you can take a date.
yeah,
It does give people an opportunity, and
yeah,
it's time gated, right? Like, hey, this is happening on this date and I need to ask this person I'm interested in before then, or I need to find someone who might be interested before then.
yeah,
Like, it just gives you an outlet and an opportunity that wouldn't normally present itself, you
yeah.
know?
That's so funny. You don't really think about the repercussions of things. And like now
Mm-hmm.
it is a domino effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of like, I don't think it's the chicken or egg situation, because I think it's just we're struggling with male mentorship. We're
Mm-hmm.
struggling with communication. Like, I think the age of people getting married is getting older and older,
Yeah.
but yet the investment in the married talking to the singles
Mm-hmm.
and giving any form of healthy advice
Right.
is also getting more and more minimal.
Yeah.
And the social media is going up with bad advice.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's happening is you're getting these people who are like, I'm not everyone, but like people who grew up without having good role models
Yeah.
to teach them how to like move forward in a relationship. And now we're taking away things that could have helped.
Right.
And also now the older generations are not talking, they're talking less because people are stuck on social media.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of things that are happening in this big sphere
Mm-hmm.
that is becoming a vacuum.
Yeah. And I think it really does hurt us. And it's kind of death by a thousand cuts because,
Yeah.
especially, and since COVID, I think like that exacerbated it. Like, we've trimmed away the fellowship opportunities.
Yeah.
Because remember, like, dating is part of fellowship.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
dating and creating connections and building families, that happens because you sit down at tables together, you break bread together, right? Like, all those things are important to have as part of just fellowship.
Yeah.
And we aren't doing that between churches very much. Like, you mentioned Bible quizzing, which is one of the only, at least in our organization, it's one of the only kind of like standard organized ways that we share like people among churches in a non-service setting, right? Um, the thing about Bible quizzing is, unless you are a quizzer or a coach, Bible quizzing is very boring to watch. And
Oh, yeah.
I say that as someone who quizzed for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And I love Bible quizzing and
Or
Bible.
if you know someone who is on the table,
Right.
or like with
If you have been a quizzer
quizzing.
and you know some of the material, it can be super exciting.
Yeah.
For everyone else, it's terrible. So like, you're not going to just have people come and sitting and spectating Bible quizzing for fun unless
No,
they're
and it's
quizzing.
not discouraged to come and like sit in a quizzing room and talk.
Yeah, like
So
you're not supposed to,
you have
if
to
you're
sit in the
there as a
foyer.
quizzer, you're referencing when you're not quizzing.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
And I'm not saying it's not a great way to meet people, because if you
Yeah.
go to nationals and you quiz for years, you'll meet people and I think it's great. But that's only going to work for a subset of people.
Yeah, a very small demographic.
And to be a really committed Bible quizzer, your family has to all be on board, right? You generally speaking, you have to have a network of support of other people or a coach or a mentor or something to help get you there and really get you involved. If you're the only person in your family who's in church, if you come into church later, it's not even an option, right?
Yeah.
So we have to have more than just that. It has to be other social opportunities besides just that.
I know, but then the thing is going to come up as, oh, hyphen.
But
But again, that only caters to people in their early 30s.
Mhm.
But the problem is no one goes to those anymore. At least I wish they would, but I understand why. Is like you end up having like a bunch of like late 20s, early 30s showing up, and then 85-90% of the people showing up are like 19, 20, 21, 22-year olds.
Sure.
And so you're like stuck with like, they're not even dating prospects.
Well, and I think it's just, it boils down to like, it is really difficult to organize events that fit everyone,
Yeah.
right? What we're describing here isn't easy. And anything that we're talking about that really, it is going to cater to a subset of people, right? Some people are going to connect really well at sporting events. Some people are going to connect really well at a formal event. Another one that we haven't talked about yet that I think we should be doing more of, and this one might be one that pastors and leaders are a little bit more gung-ho about. I think we should have more.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should have more paid, explain what I mean there. Internship and work study opportunities at churches.
Yeah.
And I know that some big churches are able to offer internships, which is awesome, but oftentimes they're unpaid internships.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to move to whatever city that's in and find a job as a young person, usually like a college grad or a college student over the summer, and then pay your way through this opportunity to work for the church. And that's very difficult. It would be amazing if your church is part of an organization, or if your district is able to pool resources to say, hey, we can cover the room and board for 10 or 20 students, right? College age students or slightly older who apply to this, to go spend time in some home missions churches around the country, to go spend time supporting one church getting a program off the ground, right? Like, create strike forces.
Yeah.
And those strike forces need to be made up of people of diverse backgrounds, from different types of congregations, from different places. Being able to send youth on a short-term,
Youth or young adults.
youth or young adults, right? I'm asterisk there. And we could even have ones that are targeted toward older adults. It's just that it's difficult usually if they've established a career, unless they're educators.
Sure.
Who have the summers off. It's difficult to get them away for an extended period of time.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So this lends itself better to like college students or people that have big breaks in their schedule. But being able to say, hey, for 2 months, you're going to go focus in this one area, invest into this congregation. You're going to meet those ministers. You're going to meet the congregates. You're going to work with their people. You're going to meet the other people on your team for an extended period of time. It can't be a week.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can meet people in a week.
Yeah,
but
you can.
you can't build a deep connection in a week usually.
Not unless there's intentionality of like, it's not like, hey, let's go work for 12 hours at this church,
right?
And then go and eat dinner together,
Yeah.
And have that 1 hour and a half conversation if you sit at the same side of the table as each other, and then
Right.
go to your hotel rooms and don't talk to anyone.
Right.
So there'd have to be intentional like hangout times.
Yeah.
To allow that.
But I think having like a longer term, like, hey, basically like we're going to have exchange students, right? Like, it's the concept of having an exchange student come to your church for effectively a semester, right? Or some period of time, house them with families in the church, right? Like, create a program.
Yeah.
Where families can apply to be part of this and be screened, where young people can apply for these scholarship opportunities, and use that to push forward initiatives at these churches where they can be a blessing. Because I think a lot of people connect best when they're able to work shoulder to shoulder with someone on something.
Yeah.
And then you really, at a formal event, right? Or at a softball game, you can be putting your best foot forward and be putting a mask out.
Sure.
It's more difficult to do that when you spend 2 months side by side with someone in the trenches, like working on a project or whatever.
Yeah. I like all of these things that we're throwing out are just like trying to like put out ideas for different ways to like say it's okay for us to go back to the basics a little bit of like what we used to do.
Yeah.
To encourage people to like take initiative of trying to put stuff like this together. And I know there's going to be a bunch of like roadblocks that are going to block people from giving them the outcome they're looking for, but to not stop, to try, because like this lack of connection that we're having is a big part of the reason why like the loneliness crisis is getting worse, is because we're so isolated, and we can't just rely on the church to create the connections or some sort of like affiliated ministry to fill this need. Like, we have the ability to do this ourselves. And I wish we had the ability to create something where people could have access to meeting and being able to like create little like pocket regional hangouts. But one, it just doesn't make sense. And two, it's not realistic. We don't know your areas.
Yeah. And I think people could, like if you're in an area that has really beautiful natural resources and you want to have a monthly hike, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing, right? If you live in an area where it's going to be, you live in a big city and it's going to be like, hey, we're going to rotate through going to these monuments or going to these museums or going to these things. And it's like, there's 1,000 different ways it can look.
Yeah.
But, and
there can also be a disc golf ministry. I'm just saying.
Plus God, won't he do
That's
it?
right. Babe, I do feel called to that
You
one.
could be, oh my gosh,
I will lead.
you guys could be the chain shakers.
That's
or
right.
like
The
the chain
rattler,
breakers.
the chain rattlers.
Oh, the chain rattlers. Oh my goodness. That's so good. Man.
Babe, that's what we need to do. I need to travel the country, going state to state, region to region, establishing these ministries.
Okay, but for real though, and I know I'm going to regret saying this out loud to you because
send me, babe. I will go. I will follow the call.
Like, what if you did, like, you and the guys, what if there was sort of like hey, a bunch of, like, there's like a Facebook page or there's a thread, there's some kind of notification process where it's like, hey, me and a bunch of the guys, married or single, I don't care, are going to go play disc golf at this, in Tallahassee, right?
Yeah.
Or in Brooksville, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I had that reaction because you don't want any Joe Schmo going to that course.
You could specify that it's for experts or for whatever.
There's a reason why it's the #1 course in the state. It's not easy.
Yes. I sent Steven there for his birthday with friends, and some friends did not know. I did not know how tough it was going to be for them.
Yeah.
So I did not provide sufficient warning, and some people almost died.
Well, not only that, but it was like 10 of us or 8 of us. And it took, and this is discouraging this ministry already for all those who are even considering it. It's the toughest course in the state.
Yeah.
On purpose. Like, it's intentionally designed for pros. I think it took us 6.5 hours.
Sure.
It was with no, like, luckily the course had water bottles from the previous tournament that we're laying out. And if we didn't have those, I'm pretty sure we would have died. You'd have to find us later.
Okay, so but we wouldn't all have to pick the hardest courses. My point is, like, you guys could say, hey, once a month we are going to go gather at some course right around the state, Tampa, like make it a thing, and get a bunch of people to go with you.
Yep. Let's do it.
Make it happen.
Hey, if you guys would be down, let me know. We will make this happen. I have a crew of guys that would hop in the car tomorrow.
Yeah. And
girls. I don't really know any girls that would go, but we could do it. We can make it work.
Yeah, women could totally go on this trip, and it would be fine to play disc golf in that setting because that's
that's what I love about disc golf. There's a full female pro tour, and they crush disc golf.
And you can be absolutely modest and play disc golf. Like,
absolutely.
It's not a sport that requires you to like make weird gestures and do weird things that are going to compromise your modesty.
If you can bowl modestly, you can play disc golf modestly.
Yeah, 100%.
So
anyway, things like that where it's like, hey, we're able to gather apostolic people out from the key here is cutting through all these ideas. The common threads are, it's got to be multi-congregational, right? Ideally multi-organizational.
Ideally, yeah.
Ideally, it's not just the UPCI or the ALJC. Ideally, the church down the road that's oneness is going to be able to participate in this too.
Yep. Fellowship
across organizations, fellowship across congregations. Fellowship that is purely about fellowship.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to have a Bible study attached to it.
Nope.
Doesn't have to have an outreach attached to it. Those things are so valuable. We also need time to break bread with our brethren.
Yes.
We need to laugh. We need to joke. We need to create connection. It needs to be something that cuts across multiple ages. I know a lot of the things we're describing here are things that are sort of focused on a specific age group, but there's no reason why these like interest groups couldn't exist for other things. One person suggested, oh, this is such a cool idea. One person suggested doing skill building workshops. So if someone's like, hey, I have a wood shop and I'm willing to open it up and people can come down and I'll show you how to make a little project. Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
If it's for me, it would be like, hey, everyone come to my house and crochet. Right.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
I will give you 2 cats. You can have them for free.
Stop. Steven's been trying to give away our cats for a long time.
It's like 2.5 cats, actually.
Mallory is large. She's not quite at the oh Lord she coming like level of cat, but she's not far from that.
Have you seen her run across the house?
she's like
funny. She's like a dinner plate.
She's a long-haired cat, so she's like a long-haired tuxedo. So her legs exist, but they're kind of covered by fat and fur. So when she runs, all you see is this little fluffy fur
jiggle
thing.
ball.
Yeah,
yeah.
just It's almost like she's
And she,
floating.
and she has like a little prance too. She
Yeah.
doesn't like.
If she didn't make noise, it would look like she was floating across the floor because it would just be like,
Yeah.
but instead it's like, like a
Yeah.
little gallop. She's sweet. Anyway, so like we need things that are purely social, that cut through the organizational noise, that allow people to just go be themselves with other people. And we need to be willing to power through the awkwardness of that.
Yep.
I heard a single I was talking to recently who's goes to one of the churches that we're familiar with was saying that a married person in the church reached out to them about just hosting a singles fellowship, like not a
Yeah.
singles ministry, but just hosting a singles fellowship. And they invited a bunch of different people. And this person that I was talking to, the single person, was like, I don't even know if I'm going to go because I know it's going to be awkward and painful. And I feel like it's going to be really weird and tense. And I wanted to be like, and I said some flavor of this really delicately, but I wanted to be like, yeah, and you still need to go.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, here's the thing. Yes, it's going to be awkward.
mm-hmm,
And even to those who are still in the hyphen age group,
mm-hmm,
I want y'all to push through and still go anyways.
mm-hmm.
Because if we don't start making an effort to go to the things that are provided,
Yeah.
they're going to completely go away.
Right.
Because if there's no attention getting to it, there's no reason for the districts to invest money into it if people
Right.
aren't going to it.
Right.
So like I know that it's hard for work schedules. I know it's hard for stuff like that, but we need to start investing in actually taking our time and going to these things. I say
Yeah.
we, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so when something is provided, push through. That's the only way you're going to be able to meet people.
Yeah. I think like, especially if it's something where someone has been willing to organize it, like just, and you have the chance and
Yeah.
it's economically feasible, like give it a shot. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily saying this as like a solve for our current singles crisis, because if you're a single person out there listening to me and you're rolling your eyes going like, we've done all the things, we've tried it all, I get it. This is a part of the cultural shift that will prevent us from digging our loneliness pit deeper.
Yeah. It's not going to solve it, but it could possibly slow it.
If it becomes normal again, and I say again because I do think more of these things existed like generations ago.
Yeah.
If it becomes normal for churches to fellowship frequently and wholesomely and to have opportunities to mingle and share their people, right? Then I believe that can be one, a better way for people to get locked into community so that they don't feel alone and don't slowly kind of get pulled away from the church. But also I think it would really provide a lot of opportunity for people to meet someone before they get lonely.
Yeah.
And so we can't keep doing things the same way that we've been doing them for the last 20 years and expect different results. Like we have to power through the awkward and find ways to do it.
Yep.
But yeah, so we talked about like kind of like work study opportunities, internship opportunities.
I have another idea.
Yeah.
Like there's a subset of people that love board games.
Mm-hmm.
And usually people think, well, like you can't really play board games in public.
Right.
So you should play at people's houses. I know that wouldn't be safe.
Mm-hmm.
But what's actually cool is if you live in a relatively like halfway decent sized city,
mm-hmm.
there's probably a board game store or like a comic book store or something that actually has tables that you could reserve and play board games at a public place. They usually sell snacks and like drinks and stuff. And you can go and they usually do like times between like noon and like midnight, depending on the ones that the time of day.
Yeah.
And you can go and actually rent tables and play board games. And sometimes they even supply the board games.
Yeah.
And so that would be a really safe way for people to go and say, hey, we're going to have a big board game day.
Yeah.
Like we're going to go and try to get 2 or 3 tables and
come
play
check it out.
come check it out, you know, BYOL, bring your own lunch and have fun, you know?
Yeah.
And I know we're throwing about a bunch of random ideas, but like, I think that this could work in some places.
Other, like, just to kind of spitball, food truck rallies, local festivals, right? Like we have the Strawberry Festival, the Watermelon Festival, the whatever insert crop festival, right? Pumpkin patches in the fall, apple orchards, anything where like you would get your family together and go do it as an activity, making that available to multiple people, right?
Yes.
Even if it's like, hey, you know, like, this is dumb, but like grand openings of things, right? Like,
We're really stretching it now.
no, I'm like, listen, if it was like, hey guys, they just opened a Buc-ee's just north of us, I'd be putting that out.
Buc-ee's.
Can you imagine?
I love Buc-ee's, but like,
Can you
let's go to a
imagine-
grand opening at a Buc-ee's.
Can you imagine an apostolic invasion of comment below if you would go to an apostolic invasion of a brand new Buc-ee's.
Gosh.
I would be there in a heartbeat for both the social
Well,
element and the fudge.
there's one opening up in Ocala or like Orlando.
What?
Yeah, off of either I-75 or Turnpike. Yeah, so now
Guys.
when we go south, we actually might have one. It's either Buc-ee's or Busy Bee. I'm pretty sure it's a Buc-ee's.
There is a vast difference between those two things.
Not really.
Yes, there is. Buc-ee's is so much better. There's so many more options of things to
Buc-ee's
eat.
is awesome.
Buc-ee's is fantastic.
But I'm pretty sure there's one opening up south of us, which is amazing.
Yeah, I love Buc-ee's because it's like
I'm not sure if it's off I-75 or Turnpike.
It's like everything. It's like the best. It's like an Aldi plus like all the best parts of a convenience store plus a Cracker Barrel.
/ a tractor or like a Royal King or Tractor Supply.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I love it. I don't care if that makes me trashy, but I love Buc-ee's. So like, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be anything heavy handed. It can be free stuff. It can be like, hey, we're all going to go to this museum, right? Like, and I don't want this to come across as like singles, it's your job to solve this problem again. Like, I don't want it to come across as here's another burdensome thing for singles to do. Married people could organize this. I would love, in a perfect world, if we could snap our fingers, if every district or church or section in a district had a social coordinator whose role it was, because there's someone who's gifted at this and motivated about this, whose role it was to find easy to get to opportunities for people to connect and to network with other people in the same role. Can you imagine if every section had an event coordinator and that person's job was, what are people in other sections doing that we can collaborate with? What can we do in our section to invite people to? And it was just about fellowship.
Yeah.
We are at the point where it is not going to happen organically anymore, y'all. Like, we are not going to get together and hang out organically. Our culture does not allow for that. Our schedules do not allow for that. We have to create the space.
Yep.
And we need to believe as a church community that it is worth it to do that.
Yes. A part of that, and I don't want to get on a soapbox too hard.
I like it when you get on a soapbox.
Okay. Except for when you edit them out.
Sometimes sometimes the specific soapbox you're on doesn't relate to the topic at hand.
Yeah, well, it made sense to me in the moment.
But I smile when I play back through it, even if I take it out later.
I'm glad.
Okay.
I feel like we're slowly like sinking into our chairs. I'm watching our faces just go lower and lower.
We're tired.
It's 1:20 in the morning.
Okay, what was your soapbox?
So I'm going to jump on the men's case a little bit.
Do it.
For the guys who listen to this, and we can clip it and put it into somewhere for people other than our podcast listeners to hear this. If there is an event creating an opportunity for you to meet your potential future wife, or even future friends that are the opposite sex, go to these things.
If there's
everything we hear,
if there's an opportunity to meet her mother, go to those things.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, go to all the elderly pillar banquets. No,
I listen, you think I'm kidding. If you are a man that is single and you show up to pass out plates at a senior's fish fry, do you know how many moms will be singing your praises back at their house?
That's right.
Find opportunities to serve the church mothers and you will find amazing women of God to date.
Yes.
Anyway.
So go to the events that are available to you. Go to the singles events. Every time we hear about a singles event, even like one of the biggest ones that we've been to and have heard about is in Texas, Lufkin, Texas. We still went and it was amazing. And I know it's not intended for it to be about dating, but you're going to try to see and meet someone,
right? For
the most part. There was a 10-to-1 ratio, if not more. And I'm like, guys, and it's the kind of same way I feel about synchrony. Like we have such a big ratio that I'm like, your odds are good. It's obviously we don't have someone for everyone yet,
Mhm.
but like your odds are good.
Right.
Like, but it's even better if you go to these conferences and you get to like go and meet someone.
Yeah.
Like go to the ones that you have available to you. Men, go to the hangouts.
Mhm.
Don't talk yourself out of it. I'm a gamer. You can very easily convince yourself, I'm tired, I'm going to stay home and talk with my friends online.
Yeah.
Go. Stop doing the project, take off work and go if you can afford it.
Yeah.
Like there are so many women who are awesome, amazing women who are waiting to find you and you're not there because you convinced yourself it was going to be awkward and uncomfortable. Well, get over yourself. You're going to be lonely for a long time if you don't take a risk and go out and meet someone.
You're so hot.
So you know what, edit that out.
We don't have to.
Like
Oh.
it just drives me nuts. Like
Yeah.
because I hear from guys that they're so lonely, but they're not willing to take a risk.
I know.
And I'm like, well, no, duh.
Yeah.
Like go.
Because sometimes the pain of the risk is not as the pain of the loneliness is familiar,
Yeah.
and the pain of the risk is new.
Yeah, and I
And it's
understand that.
unknown. And I get it, but at the same time, it's like, you know, if there isn't, like, there are precious few opportunities for this. We don't have enough opportunities for this. If there is one, please capitalize on it.
Yeah, and God forbid you're one of those people online who complain about there's nothing ever available for you for singles, and you still choose not to go to the ones that are available to you, and you look for a reason to just complain online.
Right.
Like, that's such a slap in the face.
And it is like, I want to caveat, it is true. We don't have enough singles ministries. We don't have enough singles focused events. We don't have enough singles resources. All those things are true. And there are a handful of great people trying very hard to change that, and they deserve your support.
Well, yes. And this also goes for women too, to like when there's an event or if there's a hangout, in order for this to work, in order for this culture to change, people have to be willing to feel awkward.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we've become so risk averse in our culture, and not just this is like American culture in general. We're afraid to put ourselves out there, and feel and get rejected. And I understand that there's usually evidence that there will be rejection following the awkwardness.
That's in some, like, there is no learning to find who you should be with without experiencing rejection. Like, it's going to be very rare for a person to have a healthy dating life that has not involved some rejection. That is a normal part of healthy dating interactions, because it means you're approaching someone and you're hearing, you're not for me, and you're going, okay, let me reevaluate who I'm looking for and finding someone who's different and better. That's normal.
Yes.
And expected.
Yes.
And it doesn't, rejection, we talked about this ad nauseum, but rejection is not a rejection of you as a person, as an individual. It's not a rejection of who you are. They don't know who you are. They haven't dated you.
No.
It's a rejection of this opportunity. It's saying, you don't seem like someone who would fit into my life right now. Don't take it personally. Move on to the next opportunity. If you allow every bad experience to prevent you from going out and testing out the good ones, like, you're shooting yourself in the foot there.
Yeah. And you're also like limiting your ability to fine tune the skill of socializing.
Right. Because they are muscles that atrophy.
Yeah. And like, I hate that I keep on going back to like some sort of like sports analogy, because like this is the way I was trained. When I was younger, my dad paid for a private coach. His Coach Hondo, he was a jerk, but he taught me a lot. I think he played professionally for like 7 years on like the Yankees or something. I don't know. He was on a big professional team. And he did this thing that I used to hate. And it was a one-on-one coaching session. So if he was doing, like, he was hitting to me and I was trying to do drills, if I did not throw the ball to him and him not have to lean to reach for it. Like, so if I threw a ball and he had to lean to reach for it and missed it, I had to run a lap.
Yeah.
And not around the bases. I had to run a lap around the whole field.
Yeah.
Mind you, I was 8. I was 9. Well, no, I was
Purple
fast, but
legs.
like it was still okay. He made you run fast because if not, he's like, you're paying me by the hour.
Yeah.
Your dad's paying me by the hour. And so it's one of those things that like you either say, wow, I'm really stink at throwing this ball. I wish I didn't throw this ball that
Yeah.
way. Or you say, you know what? I'm going to take my time, adjust my shot. I'm going to throw this ball right. Because the point was you throwing hard wasn't the goal. You throwing accurately was the goal. And
Right.
so what happened was it taught me to get better at throwing accurately in a pinch. And so what happens is I fine tune that skill instead of me beating myself up about it.
Right.
And so what happens is I feel like what we've run into is we have people that get rejected and they just, you know what? They're right. I give up. Or like, or it just, this is evidence that I am a terrible person, or this is evidence that I actually shouldn't go out into the dating game and I'm destined to be lonely and the ministry of Paul has called upon me.
Right.
Like or that opportunity did not work. What can I learn from it? And how can I get better at socializing or at this skill? And I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to probably jump on me and say, it's not that simple. And I understand it's not that simple, but instead of being defeated, saying, what can I learn? And is there some truth to what happened?
Right. And you can't expect things to be different, and you can't expect connection to happen if you are not putting yourself in places where connection is possible.
No.
Like, and I think, you know, as heavily as people are leaning into the online spaces, I'm just coming to believe that even though there are some people who do connect successfully there, the actual connecting does not happen online. It usually happens once the connection has morphed into something they can tackle in person.
Yeah.
Because online is not going to allow you. There's just so much there that can be masked. There's such confusion in the signals. Eventually, I think you have to be able to really be two humans in the same space alongside each other, right? Like, you need to be able to breathe the same air at some point. You know, even with matchmaking, like I think there's a limit to how long a new matched couple can go before they see each other in person, before it kind of starts to get stale. Like, we need these spaces where we can be humans together.
Yeah.
And if you are, you know, if you live in a state that's close to the border of another state, coordinate stuff across districts, right? I was talking to someone recently who was saying they live 20 minutes from the border of the adjacent state, and the hyphen groups never mingle. And it's like, and that's just logistical, right?
It probably honestly just has to do with funding.
Yeah, funding and like who emails who,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, look for opportunities that allow you to meet people from other districts, that allow you to meet people from other apostolic communities, that allow you to meet people from other oneness groups, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're in MAPS or you're in one of the other big apostolic Facebook groups, I don't know if people are doing this regularly, and if they are, like, let us know what we need to point people to. But like, ask the moderators if you can invite people to events there. Ask them, and not just singles conferences. Like, ask if you can get people together. Hey, if you're in this area, come to this. I know that there are some people who coordinate like hikes and retreats.
Yeah.
I think that's incredible.
Yeah.
And I think we need one of those to be happening every weekend somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be frequent, and that means that everyone has to participate in doing it. It can't just fall to 2 or 3 people to coordinate stuff like this. It needs to become a normal part of the culture.
Yes.
It needs to become part of how we think about fellowship. And every church and every leader needs to understand that those aspects of fellowship are not just nice, they are vitally important for the health of the overall body. Because, spoiler alert, the body of Christ is not each congregation individually. Each individual congregation is not a singular body of Christ. We, the church, Big C Church, are the body, and we have to be able to circulate our people. And we have to be able to share our people, and we have to be able to fellowship. Sorry, mosquito, with our people. I'm nervous because there was a case of West Nile virus found in Alachua County.
I know.
Like, we need to get some of those like mosquito drop things or whatever.
And also, if you're a if you're married or if you're over singles ministry or hyphen, or you're just a minister in leadership at a church, please, please be a voice of encouraging your church to intermingle with other churches,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's across the state lines. Like, because we need, the thing is if a single person, and I hate that this is true, but if a single person goes and tries to like get the attention of from a single perspective, wow, if a single person tries to go to ministry for the
Mm-hmm.
most part and bring attention to the single community,
Yeah.
especially if it's from a pastor who, doesn't understand how difficult the single
Right.
um, situation is right now, it's probably going to fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is we need married couples who understand
Mm-hmm.
and stand up and say, hey, this is something that is really, really important.
Yeah.
What can we do to hang out with? Like, there's like even us, like, and like we are within an hour of, I can think of 6, maybe 8 different apostolic churches.
Mm-hmm.
And even we don't hang out.
Baby, there is another UPCI church in the same town,
I know.
and we have never had a joint fellowship with that church in my living memory.
I know.
And I think like,
I know there's like,
just to call out the elephant in the room, you might live in a district where there's like, and I'm not ascribing this to any of the pastors that are involved in this because I don't know. You might live in a district where there's tension or there's beef or there's territorialism. Like, let's just point out the elephant in the room.
oh yeah, you're worried about losing saints.
Right. There are some congregations where the leadership or the culture of the church itself is very insular. And hear me when I say that we have to fight against that tooth and nail, not the people, that mentality that we can't share our people across congregations. That is a death knell. Right?
Yeah, and that's honestly a huge like I don't think this is a calculation,
Mm-hmm.
but the lack of families being created in the apostolic faith is hindering the church more, if not the same amount as us not reaching out to people enough and getting people to,
Yeah.
giving people Bible studies.
I think the impact is huge.
Because it's like, it's one of those things is like, if you create a body where you do not fellowship with anyone and they can only stay that way, any single person that cannot find someone to create a family with
Mm-hmm.
is a ripple effect of not being able to help build the church for the next 3 or 4 generations.
Yeah.
Or postponing it for a long time. And so it's like, we need to really talk about intermingling again.
Yeah.
And honestly, just creating an importance for that. And it doesn't have to be all the time.
Right.
A couple times a year. And it shouldn't just be district conference.
No. And I say this as someone, like, I myself am horribly introverted. I'm terrible about going to district events.
Yeah.
Like, I know this about myself, and it's gotten worse since we've had kids.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I have yet to make it to a ladies' conference. I'm so sorry to the ladies coordinators of the Florida district. You guys are doing amazing work. I'm horrible at that. Right. I have yet to make it to like prayer conference since we've had kids. Right. Like, there are things that I want to go do. I recognize that it's hard, and we have to push. Like, I'm saying this out loud. Ooh, there's a spider. Lord help, the nature is coming for us. I say this to keep myself accountable too. Like, we have to fight against our desire to just sink back into our little caves and curl up and forget about each other. The New Testament church was constantly circulating their people.
Yeah.
Right. The ministry was moving constantly. People were meeting in each other's homes. They were sharing the responsibilities of hosting. They were creating churches within their homes. Like, when you think about
And it wasn't because the homes had enough room.
No, it was because that was how the church had to operate because of persecution. But it was also how the church became a family.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying, I say that is because like a lot of times you go, well, I don't have enough room to host. And even we fell into that with our other house.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're like, there's just not enough room to invite people over. Well, we have a yard.
Yeah.
We can, of course, Florida's hot, so we'd have to do it at the right time of year.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that shouldn't be enough of a reason for us not to invest into people.
Right.
And create opportunities for that.
Yeah. So this is us preaching to ourselves and everyone else. If you see an opportunity to create a connection point, it doesn't have to be big and expensive. It doesn't have to be complicated. But if you see an opportunity to connect people, please try, right?
Yeah.
If you are someone in leadership and you have the ability to coordinate across congregations or across your district or between districts, please use that to create opportunities for people to connect. And if you have great ideas, but you aren't the person to put them in place, please comment them, or let's start to build an understanding of what it would look like for us to do some of this, right? Like, let's start to workshop it.
Yeah.
Because I think that there are ways that we have to attack loneliness for the people who are currently experiencing it. And there are things we need to do to future proof ourselves against loneliness in the future. And this is one of those things. We have to start building a culture of fellowship again between our churches.
Yeah.
So help us pray about that. Help us pray that the right people get excited about it and get motivated. And if you know of resources that are being underutilized or people that are trying to do this and aren't getting a great response, please comment and let us know, or send us a message or an email or something so that we can help put the word out and maybe create a better opportunity for them to be used.
The way you did that, you actually probably have to leave that in because you didn't cut it.
If you saw me do that and you're like, what conniption did she just have? There was a
Megan,
bug.
No, Megan is paranoid now. I've seen you go cross-eyed 4 times in the last like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So what happens is, like, our door isn't shutting all the way completely all the time. Like today, because I couldn't figure out how to get it to stay closed, I had to literally put my kettlebell in front of it to like keep it from opening up while I was sitting. Because our shed is like settling and it's like whatever. So there are bugs in here right now, like flying around because of all the lights, and I'm so scared that one of them's going to be a roach. Like,
because we live, or a palmetto bug.
A palmetto bug is what I mean by a roach. And listen to me, if that ever happens on camera, you will physically see my soul depart from my body.
And we will leave it in.
It's depending on what I say, depending on what comes out of my
Yeah.
mouth. You might have to bleep the whole thing.
Bleep, 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 bleep,
Hopefully
bleep.
I just speak the name of Jesus and don't say anything inappropriate out of the abundance of the heart.
Yeah.
That's how you know how good someone's walk with the Lord is if they have to slam on brakes, whatever comes out of their mouth.
Oh, sure.
Okay, I think we should wrap it because it's like 1:36. Do you have anything else you want to add to this?
No, we've gone on many soapboxes.
Yeah. By way of announcements, ladies, I know we've been getting a lot of questions. We're going to reopen the pipeline in August. Exact date TBD.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to do it on August 1st just because it's a nice round number and it's a Saturday, and that would kind of be like a nice like entry point to be able to make sure everything goes smoothly. We will be sending out more information about that. Please stay tuned. If you'd like to stay more up to date about what we have going on at Synchrony and get like a weekly update of how many people are in the pipeline of specific genders and how many matches are in progress, and get some thoughts about things that we're seeing and noticing, please subscribe to the newsletter. The link is in the description. You can also go to our link tree if you're following us on Instagram and get it there. I've been sending it out every week. About like 170 people are reading it, which is so cool.
Nice.
Thank you guys. I like to think that the topics are interesting. If I have resources that I think are valuable, I drop them in there so that you can take a look at them, like books or podcasts or videos or other things that I think kind of make sense. But check it out. It's a nice way to kind of share just thoughts and touch base with people when I can't meet with them all the time. But yeah, any other announcements?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. I love you.
I love you too.
It's nice to sit down and do this again after so long, even though we're doing it at a stupid hour.
Yep, I agree.
We're going to suffer for this in the morning.
Yes, we will. Because our son's going to be crawling in our bed in about an hour.
Yeah, that's true. He's been really clingy lately. I think it's because he refuses to wear long pants pajamas and he gets cold in the middle of the night, and then that wakes him up, and then he decides that's a good time to come like get in our bed instead of just like getting back under his blanket.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So anyway, maybe just going back to footy pajamas is the answer to this. I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah.
On that note, thank you for listening, guys.
We love y'all.
Love y'all.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.